ones and those who cannot stand my guts. This is Mason Weaver, the guy you hate to love and love to hate. Today, this is interesting. Today we wake up to bombings of liberals. Liberals are being bombed, and I want to explain to you my theory of what's really going on. Overall, since Donald Trump was elected, liberals have been violent. They have been in your face. They've been marching, demonstrating, burning, rioting, blocking streets, refusing to let you eat in peace, attacking a Supreme Court justice. We have been under attack. And first, I want to tell you folks something. Liberals are not like you. They are different creatures than you. I was a Berkeley radical student. I ran with the most militant people you've ever seen in your life. I ran with the Black Panther Party. I ran with the Black Student Unions. I ran with liberal, new left communists for a second. I worked for, I volunteered for Ron Dellums and Pete Stark and George Miller. I campaigned for Alan Cranston. I'm a Berkeley radical liberal walkaway. And I'm going to tell you about them. You have to believe me. They do not want what you want. They want the opposite of what you want. Liberals will be happy if we fought back. They're in your face trying to entice you to strike back at them. If you beat their behinds, they'll go home and celebrate. They want violence. They want chaos. They want a dysfunctional government. The reason why the philosophy of liberals is that if you wake up tomorrow morning, I had a liberal tell me this in California years ago. Mason, if the people wake up and see Chinese tanks rolling down Main Street, he said Russian tanks, they will gladly, eagerly give up their constitution for safety. They believe that if there's enough chaos, enough danger, you will give up your rights as citizens. Look what happened in the bombings in Boston. In the bombings in Boston, the police went door to door, forcing homeowners to let them come in and search. They had no reasonable belief that there was anybody in there. They had no intelligence to say that the bombers were in the home. They went door to door, and if you refused, they put a gun in your face. But most people didn't refuse. Most people say, "Yeah, come here, look, come here, look," because they know you will give up your right for safety. So right now we have bombings, or at least bombs being sent. And I won't be surprised if liberals are doing it, by the way. But we have bombs being sent to liberal deep state, never Trumpers. And of course now the notion is that we are fighting back. Since we're not fighting back openly, they may be trying to pretend like we're fighting back. But they want war. They want chaos. They want us to be at each other's throats. They want to fight back and cause chaos. Now, we may have to fight back. We may have to fight back. The reason I have tried not to be a public figure around my home is that people will force me to hurt them. They have already forced me to take action against them at my home. I've had my home edged, had my home shot at. I've had my place of business where I had my talk show in San Diego come out where I am. I've been attacked on stage. They will do this. They are violent, undeveloped mindset people. So Americans, we're entering a phase now. If another Supreme Court justice come open, if a liberal Supreme Court justice comes open, liberals will lose their minds. They will attack you openly. At Berkeley, when this guy was trying to speak at the student class at Berkeley, they not only did they attack, they planned the attacks, and the Berkeley City Police and the University Police allowed them to attack and burn up, and they want that. You've never seen a conservative riot. It's called war, by the way. You've never seen conservatives marching and tearing up things and burning down cars and breaking windows. You've never seen conservatives, even when it's a social issue. You saw Michael Brown. Everybody knew in their heart Michael Brown was not shot in the back. Everyone knew that he was not hands up, don't shoot. Everyone knew, including the demonstrators, including the rioters, including those holding hands up and marching, including those who came out of town. They know the truth, folks. So let's stop. Let's stop trying to tell liberals the truth. The truth is irrelevant to them. They know the truth, folks. They actually hate the truth. Can you imagine? I know you can't imagine this because you guys are nice, decent people, but they hate the truth. It's like pouring, it's like a brick to their head, and they will never take the truth and say, "Wow, okay, okay." I was at a restaurant. I told you got this story a week or so ago, and I go to the restaurant. It was in a part of the county that you don't see very many black people. I saw a black employee. He was sitting out having his lunch. Big black dude. He had his pants down a little bit. He had the style from the inner city, just a little bit. And I wanted to start a conversation with him. And I asked him a question. Hey, what do you think about the football players kneeling down? He started giving me the normal things he had learned, he had been taught. And I challenged him. I kept saying, think about it. And he made my point. Think about it. And made my point. Eventually, that young man said, I've never thought about it that way before. My employee here does not have, I don't have a right to demonstrate here. If I walked outside and demonstrated here, that would be right. I said, not only would it be right, you'd be fired. He looked at me and said, why would I be fired? I got a right to speak. I said, no, you don't have a right to speak here. If you were demonstrating outside in front of this restaurant, I will not come into this restaurant, and your employer has hired you to serve me in this restaurant. He kept repeating, I've never thought about that before. I've never thought about that before. And I asked him, have you ever thought about it? Instead of emotional, thinking about it? When I left that restaurant, that guy took my car, shook my hands, and promised to get back to me. Folks, you can't make them think, but you can ask them to think. Liberals want chaos. Think about it. You've never seen a Somali liberal, never seen a friendly liberal. They want chaos. So this election cycle, win or lose, folks, it's going to be chaos. We have to try our best to take them out of power. Stop allowing them to train our children. Stop allowing them to set the standards on television and the movies. Stop allowing these people to be able to come before us and tell us what normal is. They're not normal. They're immature. They're children. They're violent. They don't think. And so let's stop pretending that these people are capable of sitting at the table of decision making. What is it about liberals? In your whole history, I don't care if you're 15 or 55 or 85, what is it in your history that makes you think liberals are rational enough to sit at the table of decision making and participate in the American culture? They hate success. If you love success, they hate success. If you love harmony, they hate harmony. They are discriminatory by their very beginning. So the bombings in New York and wherever they've been across the country, the bombings primarily in New York, and it will be in deep blue states. That may be a setup. That may be a setup. Be careful what this is. So another thing before I leave here, and this is going to be a short video. The people marching up to the border. This is an open statement to President Trump. Mr. President, and everybody, send this video to the White House. Mr. President, we are prepared to see the stories and the pictures. We're prepared for CNN to show the pictures of the trooper with his rifle pushing back the woman and the children. We're prepared to see that. We're prepared to see the flood of poor immigrants looking for a job to be forced back across the border. We are prepared for the liberal onslaught. Please, Mr. President, close the doggone border. You cannot do it within the set of laws we have now, so you have to declare a martial law. You have to suspend the laws on that border, put a 15, 20-mile boundary that is a no man's land, and you don't have to take these clowns to court. You don't have to give them a judge and then release them to come back. You don't have to do that. They depend on you doing that, but you can say this is a national emergency. This is a flood of military-age men coming to our country, burning the flag of America before they even get here, tearing down the border fence in Mexico before they even get here, waving the flag of their oppressive nation, which means they're oppressed themselves. Mr. President, declare a safe zone on our border to let them come across and then apprehend them and send their behinds right back immediately across that border, not to Guatemala, back to Mexico. Let Mexico deal with it, and then try to strike a deal with Mexico, even bring in the foolish UN and set up camps for these clowns and put them in these camps in Guatemala, in their native land, and make it a safe zone. Put UN troops, the only good UN is for. It's for this. You put UN international troops, and don't have to be Americans, and you guard these little camps like Palestine, and you put them in. You have to stop them at the border. We will be for you, Mr. President, when you stand up for us and declare that America is for Americans and our invited guests only. It is not a place for you to invade. So therefore, we're waiting for you to stand up. Send the 101st Airborne to the border. Now, there's going to be some folks saying there's laws against using the United States military against civilians. No, it's not. There are laws against using the United States military against United States citizens in a civil activity. But this is an invasion. You mean to tell me that if Russia invades us and they get on American soil, we can't fight back? Or you say that if Chinese come across the border and invade us, if Islamic terrorists come across the border with guns, we cannot defend ourselves? Of course we can. We can defend our border anytime we feel like it. So, Mr. President, you said you was going to do it. Don't not do it. Don't not do it. It'll be a campaign in your next election. You said you will send the military and stop this. I will stop them right now. If Mexico is trying to stop them and they can't, make a deal with them. Make a deal with them. Let's go stop them in Mexico. Stop them 1,000 miles from the border. Send them back. If they broke the fence to get into Mexico, they'll break the doggone fence to get back. Arrest those Mexican citizens, bring in food and water to them. Arrest those American citizens, those Mexican citizens that are taken in in their cars up north. The reason this thing is doubling every few days is because they're being joined by Mexicans trying to come in also. And by the way, that's my end of my little note to President Trump. Back to you guys. Think about something for a minute. Don't believe there are 14,000 immigrants 1,000 miles away marching to the border. I want you to understand, right now in Texas and San Diego, about 1,000 a day are being caught in each location. 1,000 a day. They're already invading. They're already coming across. This is the news. This is the small shiny object over here for us to keep our eyes on. Right now, they're already coming across the border. And in some states, in San Francisco, they're giving illegals the right to vote in local elections. Now, think about this for a second now. You're saying, well, it doesn't affect national elections. Yeah, it does. Because when they give them the right to vote for local elections, they're going to be voting for radical revolutionaries in those local elections, in the school board, the city council. And 4 or 5 years from now, they're going to be running for state rep and state senate. And 8, 9 years from now, they're going to be running for Congress. These radical people all over the state. Look at Florida. Look what happened in Florida. Right now, the polls show that Gilliam is 6 points ahead. Polls are a lie, I know that. But the fact that this socialist, George Soros-funded candidate for governor, the mayor of the poorest city in Florida, who is for open borders, want to end ISIS, want to give citizens free money, the fact that this guy is even in the running is showing you what happens when a hurricane hits Puerto Rico and 700,000 liberal Democrat Puerto Ricans come to Florida to be rescued, and they're now sitting there as citizens able to vote. And now you have Florida on the verge of becoming a blue state. Americans, let's stop this. It's going to take us resisting them. It's going to take us standing up against them. It's going to take us to take our country back. So ignore the name calling, ignore the nonsense and the screaming and hollering, ignore the activities, stand up. If you can't stand up, be honest with your heart. Be honest with your heart. If you cannot stand up, back away and support us willing to stand up. Support us. It takes the civilian lives to support the military. Someone needs to make the uniforms and make the arms and get our tickets. Someone has to send us. So if you cannot go to the front lines, only 2% of the troops go to the front lines, folks. I'm going to that march away in Washington, that walk away in Washington, and I'm going to be there with my wife, maybe, and we're going to stand up for America. If you can't go, if you're afraid to go, bless your heart, I understand. Liberals supposed to be afraid. If you can't go to the Walkaway Campaign website and donate some money, donate some causes, get active in this. This is your nation. This is your kids' nation. So, therefore, folks, I'm telling you, I'm going to get ready for my trip. I got things to do out here, but I want to stop. I have to pull over for a second. Got so upset with this. We win when we show up. We win every time we show up. Show up. Have you had enough yet? I mean, think about it. They're going to resist you. This is the resistance. What are they going to resist? What do they think about it? What do they want to resist? The great economy, the record unemployment rate, the new better trade deals. What are they going to? The tax break. What are they resisting? Your very lifestyle, folks. This is America. It's for Americans only. Stay right or be left. We're going to go win. Take care.